Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Each like lets me know that you're interested in more content. This video will focus on parent and child record cloning, also known as deep cloning. Hi there. I wanted to share a way on how to create a ScreenFlow that allows you to clone both the parent record and its associated children records. For this example, we will run through a scenario where we will clone and rename the account and then bring over the clones of its opportunities. So after creating and firing off the soon-to-be created flow, we will have a new copy of our account and its associated opportunities. Let's start off by going into Setup, typing in Flows into the Quick Find, and selecting Flows and creating a new ScreenFlow. Someone could inevitably launch this from an action button or use it from a record page as a screen. But let's start off by getting our parent record. Now, as mentioned earlier, this is going to be our accounts. Here, we will enter a label and then select the account object. For this demonstration, we're not going to use a condition requirement, but feel free to use any. For example, you could pass in a record ID. We will now create an assignment element, and within that element, we will create a single record variable. This variable will be used later in our flow and contains all the values of our account. Next, we want to get our children records by using the get element for opportunities. Here we will add a label as well as an object. Here we can add condition requirements to get the right opportunities that were assigned to the original account. Make sure to select all records. Next, we will create a screen which will prompt the user for inputs. The input will be used to rename our cloned account. This will allow us to differentiate between our old and new account. Now that a user can declare a new account name, we will use an assignment element to assign our cloned account name to the user's screen input. Here, we will add a label. We will now input our single record variable account name and set it equal to our screen input, which is also our new account name. We will also update the first name and last name fields on the account to a static string. Now it's time to create our account using the create element. After adding a label, we will keep the default to 1 for how many records we will create. Make sure to use the account var single record variable, which contains our cloned account record with new account name. Now we want to store the ID of the newly created account, so we can create an assignment with a text variable. Then we associate the account variable ID to the parent ID text variable. To do this, we label our new assignment. Then we create a text variable called parent ID. Now we are going to pass in our newly created account single record variable ID. Now we can create a loop. This loop will allow us to iterate over the opportunities we want to clone. So now we will give a label to our loop. We will also add our collection of opportunities. Now our loop is able to iterate. Now we will add each iteration to a record collection variable. To do this, first create an assignment. Then we will create a single record variable. And this will give us a container to store each iteration of our opportunity. Now we create a new assignment element to reassign the current opportunity account field to our cloned account record. This will allow each opportunity iteration to be reassigned to our new account. We will now create another assignment element. Additionally, we will also create a multi-record collection variable to store all of our opportunities into a single container. This will allow us to bulkify our creation of opportunities. And make sure your operator is set to add to avoid any errors you may encounter. We can now create a create records element to create our collection of opportunities. Doing it this way allows for one DML update. Lastly, we can create a success screen page to show us that the flow is complete. We can now save our flow. And finally, we can run a debug to ensure that our flow works as expected. And we can see that we received our success message and no unhandled faults. So we can see that this was done successfully.